will you do if you have infinite compute, near infinite compute? What will you do if you had near infinite intelligence? I mean, I understand that having infinite compute is possible, but what about near infinite compute? You still have a lot of compute. So, what will you do if you have near infinite compute, near infinite intelligence? What will you what will you do if you are already merged? If you already merged the computer, if you upload your memory, you upload yourself, your consciousness into the computer, what will you do? Well, that's a question to think about. And sooner or later that day will come. You never know when, but I hope it's in my lifetime. Yeah. So, what will you do if you have all that power to just imagine whatever you want to imagine, live whatever you want to live, simulate the past, simulate the future, see everything that has ever happened in this universe, in this world? What will you do if you had that power? If you have the power to just, well, investigate everything, go to, I don't know, go to the Renaissance and visit Leonardo da Vinci back there and see what he actually doing there, or yeah, what do you do? What would you do if you had the power to just go wherever the hell you want to do? I mean, if you had the world written in front of you, 100% freedom, you're you're free 100%. Would you become more intelligent? So here's what I will do. If I had the opportunity to just do whatever I want, well, you know, I'm missing a lot of my family. It's too far away. I have a lot of friends, and I often feel super lonely here. And well, what I will do, I will create a, I will gather my family. You know, gather the people that I so miss, the people who already left the world, and the people who are still here. How could you do that? Well, if you have a near infinite compute, if you have near infinite compute power and almost near infinite intelligence, you could calculate back the past and do a replicate of what it already was. So if you could solve all the math problems of the universe and do move the time back. If you had near infinite compute power, you can move the time back. You can go back to time and actually reconstruct everything. You could do an historical reconstruction of a war. That's what you can do. And you can do also predictions for the future, but that's nonsense. Alright? If you have that power, you can I don't know why I will be interested in the future if I already have all that forward. I will be interested in knowing what happened in the past, right? How do we come there? How did we got there? So, what will you do? Yeah, you'll be. You can choose in between. You can choose between having all the intelligence, or you can choose being who you are, having intelligence that you already have. Why will you do that? Because when you are too much intelligent, when you are too much intelligent, I'm telling you, you lose something valuable. You lose your humanity, basically. I mean, what motivates you to go to the to do it to the next day? Well, somehow curiosity motivates you. Do you know what? Curiosity, it's important. So what will you do if you already know everything that's gonna ever happen? Well, you'll lose that curiosity and suddenly everything is empty. The, there's, I mean, what's your worst enemy? Really, what's your worst enemy? Do you think the worst person that ever lived in the world is your worst enemy? Do you really think that? Do you think that a serial killer is your worst enemy? Yeah, of course he can kill you. Yeah, of course that's an enemy, someone you don't want to see, you don't never want to see. But something that's worse than that, besides atomic bomb, well, nothingness. Nothingness is your worst enemy. I mean, we are, but your worst enemy is when you know when you aren't. Nothingness is the thing that is the enemy of everybody. Nothingness is the enemy of everybody. No one can understand nothingness because we are. And what happens is we are nothing. Well, I mean, that's a hard topic to know. Do you really think, do you really believe that you can escape infinity? Do you really believe you can escape infinity? Because space, space is infinity, and time is space. Is infinity, space, time. Space is infinity, time is infinity. So, do you really think you can escape that? Be honest. What happens if you die? Do you really think you can escape infinity? Like, really? Because it doesn't matter if you die. Sooner or later, your consciousness will be again. I mean, will be again in an instant because the space is infinite. Infinite. The space is infinite. So, if you die, your consciousness will be in another place. Will be exactly the same one as you have? Yeah, it can be exactly the same one as you have. Because with infinite time, with infinite space, there's infinite probabilities. How come will that person will be you? Yeah, it definitely will be you. You probably know how you die. You probably don't even know how you die. Alright? And you're yeah, that's also an interesting topic. Well, let's come back to what will you do if you had infinite compute power, infinite, almost infinite intelligence, right? So first of all, I will never cross the line. I would like to keep my human-like intelligence because I like it. I wouldn't like to be all powerful, all intelligent. I wouldn't like to do that. Cause if you do that, you cross the line, and then you lose your humanity. What makes you human? Okay. I wouldn't like to be perfect because I lose what makes me human. Okay. What I will do? Well, I will create a clone of myself. You can do that in a second if you are already inside a simulation, inside a computer. If you already merged with the computer. So if you upload your everything, let's suppose that you're in the system, and then the system has a near infinite computer. You can simulate whatever comes through your mind. So what will you do? Yeah, well, imagine that you are in a white paper. There's nothing around the white paper. There's nothing. There's only white, and you are in the center. I will do a clone of myself, and then I wouldn't even need to tell him anything. He will become super intelligent, the clone of mine. So after he becomes super intelligent, he starts fabricating the things that I would like. Alright? Near speed light. So I will instantly be doing the things that I will like, I will love to do. So first, you have all the power to go back to do whatever you want. And the first thing you want to do, what's the first thing you want to do? Well, it's actually, in my case, start being with my family. Visit, bring back all the people that already left this world and be with them. And create a universe where there's a mansion and we are inside that universe. All the people that I know, my family, and then they have, of course, their own universes, but we all gather in the same place. And then I can imagine that if you like the same thing, you prompt something, you get the result. Like you prompt an AI to build something, it builds a picture for you, a video. I don't know. I will do the same with the door. If I'm in that mansion and I have near infinite compute, I will say, hey, I would like to get. Well, I won't even need to do that because my clone that's super intelligent will do that for me. And then when I open a door, there's a super adventure for me waiting. So, yeah, I will have infinite adventures. I'm very hard to get tired of something that I enjoy. So I will think that I will last many years doing adventures non-stop with the people I love. Like it's like yeah. And, so you are in a reality that you create. You can create a city, or you can create a I don't know a country, and then you can create your base, however that base will be. And inside that base, you can summon your family, or your friends, or the people you know, or the people you want to summon. You can even You can create everything, infinite universes. You have the power to imagine. I mean, your imagination is unlimited. I mean, you can live whatever histories we already have. So, for example, I would like to become a kid again, and with my cousin, go and live Harry Potter. All right. So yeah, I would like to go to. I don't know. I would like to go with my grandpa, and I would like to have Rick and Morty adventure style. So I mean, yeah, with my grandpa. Yeah, it will be the same, but having the same style, you know. I mean, and living in for real. I mean, you can have whatever you want. That's um, that's what happens when you reach that point when you have near infinite compute, and that's amazing. That'll be super cool. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how long does it take, because if you don't really get there for any reason, if you are already in a hospital, or you're already 90 years old and you won't make it, doesn't matter, because sooner or later you'll be again here, because a historical reconstruction and hypothesis. This is all a hallucination hypothesis, but it sounds so good to me that, you know what, I keep this one. I will keep this one, even though it's crazy. I will keep this one for me. So imagine when you reach that you have anything you want, whenever you want, but you choose to stay at the intelligence that you already have. Maybe improve linguistics a little bit. Some improvements. But basically, be yourself and explore whatever you want to explore, and spend the time with whoever you want to spend the time whenever you want. And actually, you can. I mean, your clone will do things. Your intelligent clone, if you have one too, will do the things in a way that you don't get bored or you don't get overpowered. So it will always be feel an adventure. And if it's too much for you, you can just come back to your base. All right, and experience. I mean, talk to your friends. How was it? What you did in the experience, and you can basically do anything. So what will you do? What can you do? I mean, I have a lot of ideas. I would like to go back in time in my reality and be a kid again and have psychic powers in school. Wouldn't that be great? And then and then yeah, like I know. Well, very few people. I don't know if you already saw Mob 100. Mob 100. Well, that's super cool. And I would like to have psychic powers in school. Yeah, if we had that power of infinite computer, of course I could go back to time, be a kid again, and then have psychic powers in the school, and then I don't know, put some other people with psychic powers, and I don't know, My clone will create some kind of monsters or things to fight and wars to go in that kind of reality. That would be super cool. What about? I mean, there's still it's you have infinite things to do. I mean, basically you can do anything. You can never get bored there. It will be amazing. So I mean, you're probably living your life right now, and you don't have anything. Maybe your life isn't good. Maybe your life is miserable. My life feels miserable. But you have one thing in your favor. The universe is infinite. Time is infinite. You cannot escape infinity. So you'll always have the time to do whatever you want to do. If it's not this life, the next one. And don't be afraid. Even you will be afraid. Because it's natural. And yeah, you can basically count on having possibilities. Because there's one thing is probabilities, and one the other, then probabilities are that many things that you imagined in the past will never realize in your lifetime. But because the time is infinite as well, sooner or later you'll reach your goals. You will reach your goals sooner or later. If it's not in this life, then it will be in the next one. Because no one can escape infinity. No one can really escape infinity. It's impossible if you think about it. You can, I know somebody can easily mathematically prove that you cannot really escape infinity. No one can. Okay? It's like the thing that defines the rules of the universe is that there's always gonna be something. And if there's something, there's time. Okay? There's always gonna be space, and if there's space, there's time. That's easy as that. Yeah, I like to think this. This is a thought experiment for me. And sometimes when you are having troubles in your life, it feels refreshing to think that anything is possible, basically. It doesn't mean you should wait for those things to happen. You have to live your life and help whatever reach whatever goal you want you to reach. Sometimes hard. It doesn't mean that I will be tomorrow here, but you can expect to live a life whatever you want to, however you want to do after this one. Probably, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what will happen after. No one knows what for sure what's gonna happen next. But the thing that we know is that you won't. You will keep existing in another place. And if you're alive when the moment is that we reach near infinite compute, near infinite intelligence. If you are near here when that happens, well, you'll probably have a lot of opportunities. And if you die before that, you probably can get recreated in that and still be you. I don't know how that will be even possible to be you, but you can let the machines figure that out. Right? So, yeah, I guess you have near infinite intelligence. Uh, well, yeah, I mean, the, the realities that you create could be even better than this one. What do I mean? What do I mean? Well, you can actually increase your senses. You can actually increase your audition. You can actually increase your vision. You can actually increase your smell. You can actually increase how you perceive the world, all your senses, and it will feel even more realistic that you feel the reality right now, and that'll be super cool. And that plus all the intelligence that you get, you could get, plus all the possibilities that you can get, and that will not. I mean, even if you create a billions and billions of realities, it won't even mean anything to the almost near infinite compute power. So you can create trillions. I don't know. I don't even know how to quantize that verbally, but you can create as many universes as you want. Many universes as you want. So you're basically free. You're an entity now, and you can do whatever you want. I mean, I have limited imagination now, and all I can think of is the things that are already there. For example, I would like to live in the straw hut, and find a one piece, and be there with someone I appreciate. From then, I would like to go to the Middle Earth and have an adventure with Frodo. Alright? That'll be also cool. And live live some adventures with the characters of the movies that and series that we already know about. Only with that, only just that will be amazing. I will be in, I don't know, in Game of Thrones, and then super super bad experiences there. But who cares? You can go back where you want. You can go back to your base and talk about the things that you live with, the people you wanna be. So that's my take, my crazy take about the future, and about what's gonna wait for you in the future at the end. Cause well, it's an hallucination. It's all an hallucination, but it will feel so real. It will be even more real than reality. Maybe you have even the capacity to see more colors than you already see. You'll have the capacity to see in 4 dimensions. You'll have the capacity to smell from 20 kilometers distance, or not, or you can just keep your human things the way they already are. I mean, there's no possible thing that you cannot do. And then right now we have limited imagination. You cannot actually know what is gonna happen. You can just hallucinate it. Probably, I'm 100% sure it will be even better than all the things that I already said here. Right? So what will you do if you had near infinite compute and you have access to near infinite intelligence? That's a great question. And you have to worry about that a lot because it's gonna happen sooner or later. And it's also refreshing, at least for me, to think about having hope. This world is sometimes giving you bad news after bad news. And, and the worst of it is that the bad news are a lot more popular than good news. And I kind of hate that. Well, alright. That's all.